And we're back live at the Lancaster Archery Classic. I am Chuck Cooley here with Teresa Johnson. We are at the True Ball Axel Archery Hall at the Spooky Nook Sports Complex. Thank you very much for tuning in today. We now have the Masters Open division getting all set for their shoot up. The Masters Open, these are gentlemen that are 50 years of age and older in the non-professional division. And our first match is going to be Mark. Oh, man. Mark, I apologize. I'm not going to try to say your last name. I'm going to blow that up. Then we have Daniel Deterline. He'll get some words from the gentleman.
Okay, apologize. My error. Daniel will shoot first. Mark will shoot second. Excuse me. Holy smokes.
I'm here.
Oh, boy.
And Teresa, you have a pretty good assessment of this last name.
I hope. So we think, and Mark, apologies, Mark's family out there, if you're listening to me, I'm gonna call it Wojtkowiak.
I'll go with that.
We'll see. So he's shooting against Daniel Deterline, and Mark is opening up, of course. We'll see what he's going to do to start. Oh, no, I apologize. Daniel opened up.
And Daniel shoots from the bottom up. You can see it's a little bit different. Most of the other archers shooting top down. It is their option to shoot the targets in any direction or any order they choose.
And sometimes we choose to do that because we're concerned about the shadows on the target. So if I'm looking at my target, I want to be able to see exactly where my arrow is going. If you notice, if you shoot the arrow from top down, sometimes you can see a little bit of shadow. It can make it difficult to see exactly where your arrow is hitting to make a timely sight adjustment.
They do a great job here with the lighting, though, to try to kill those shadows. And I want to get a shot of Deterline's pin there.
And look how smooth he is. He was really steady on that shot.
He's probably going to catch that 9. See him trying to settle in there. He's not quite as comfortable as it looks like he needs to be.
And you can see those feathers are getting a little bit of wear on them. He's anchoring in very tight to his face. When we say he's anchoring, we mean that he's bringing the string in. The bowstring is settling in very close to his face. We always want a very repeatable anchor point. You can see here that Mark has that because it means that your bowstring's in the same place every time. It helps with consistency. We'll go out to Rob and see what he's got to say here.
Big D. Darren Christenberry.
In the house.
There we go, Big D. Okay. Darren Christenberry is one of the top pros shooting for Elite and TOG on the 3D circuit and the dot circuit, and he's here to help me. Let's go over their gear. It looks like we've got here a Hoyt Prevail, a brand new Hoyt Prevail with a Sherlock sight. And I noticed that you're just shooting a pin. You have great contrast with that pin. You must have great eyesight, Dan.
Yeah, I can't see close, but I can see far.
Very good. You're doing a great job with it. You're shooting a dead center stabilizer and a trophy taker drop away. And what release are you shooting? You're shooting an old Cobra caliper release. And what strings are you running?
Beeline strings.
Beeline strings. Very good. Easton arrows. And where are you from, Dan?
I'm from Roaring Spring, Pennsylvania.
Very good. Where is Roaring Spring?
It's between Harrisburg and Pittsburgh.
Very nice. Very nice.
By State College, Pennsylvania.
Central Pennsylvania. Very good. A lot of great archers out of Central PA. We'll get down to Mark between the next end. Nice shooting, gentlemen. It looks like, let me see, score-wise, what are we looking at? Looks like we've got...
So we had an update there from Rob. He had a nice little conversation. Get an idea of what Dan was shooting there. The big difference there is he's shooting just a straight pin coming out of his sight bar.
Let's see his last arrow here. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned he's shooting a straight pin, Chuck, and this is a real departure from what we normally see these days on a bow setup.
Yeah, most of these guys, this would be, kind of a bow hunter type setup where you just have a pin. He's shooting a caliper release as well, so he may have come from the bow hunter ranks and now moved into the open category.
And there's nothing wrong with a bit of an old school setup there, because the reality is it's working for him. He got himself into this final with it. Whatever works, you know, archery is a very individual sport in terms of equipment, and a lot of it is personal preference. Look at that wobble. There's a little bit on the stabilizer there, but now he steadies in. Well, we're starting to see a little bit of movement.
The bow kicks away from him nicely.
So
a little bottom kick with that cam.
And that's exactly what the stabilizer is helping that archer to do. So the stabilizer, we can see a difference also in their stabilizers, because we've got Daniel shooting, he's running a pretty short stabilizer, again, your reference to a bow hunter type setup, while we see that Mark is running a bit of a longer, a longer stabilizer in the front and more weight in the front of that. Again, very much personal preference, but it's how do you get the bow to balance.
Right, and it goes to comfort and what you've shot in the past. Good recovery there from him.
And as we start, there's that short stabilizer we referenced earlier, and as we'll see in a little bit, we're going to see some of the recurve, the youth recurve archers come out. And for sure, depending on whether you shoot compound or recurve, your goal with a stabilizer can be a little bit different. On the recurve side, they're really using that for balance to help the bow settle when you're aiming, and of course to dampen vibration. And likewise, I think on the compound side, you're really seeing it more for balance.
Right, right.
You want to ask him about his gear?
Yeah, Mark.
Finished very strong there.
Elite 37, CBE sight, atomic rods, Scott Sigma release, center circle string.
And what arrows are you shooting?
Great shot of his sight set up there.
Now, this is a very unique stage. How do you prepare for this?
I didn't too good.
It looks like you're doing good. Good luck to you.
Getting a little commentary from Darren Christianberry. Darren is a standout in the professional division. Been around for a long, long time. Currently a 1-point lead for Dan, 61-60. Take a quick look at this here. Nice, beautiful shot. Gets rewarded with an 11, and he gets rewarded with an 11 here on the last arrow. Boom.
Boom.
Love to see that.
So we're going to see the second arrow from Daniel Dedamore, and look at that. Excuse me, Deterline. We've got a Sophie Dedamore also who shoots. But just fantastic shooting here. Both of these guys are really at the top of their game today, and this is a tight match, Chuck. I mean, we're only 1 point apart here.
Yeah, only 1 point separating this match. Again, this is the Masters Open, the non-professional division for gentlemen 50 years of age and up. We're seeing the top 4 shooters today. Mark qualified with a 986. Daniel qualified with a 1006, a 1006.
That was a great shot of that shorter stabilizer setup again that we talked about earlier. And now you can see Mark. He's getting dialed in. He's very, very steady.
Settles right in there. Is looking very, very good.
Beautiful 11 from Mark. And there's a lot of pressure on these two guys. I mean, the reality is this room has really filled up. You know, Chuck, you mentioned it earlier, but when we first started this broadcast, you know, we had certainly quite a few folks here, but it was not filled to the brim, and it's getting there now. We are really starting to see these seats filled up, so there's a lot of pressure on these archers. And we should also add, Chuck, that in terms of the finals venue here, in case the folks at home haven't noticed this, the seating is running down the sides. This is very much a U-shaped venue. So when you're shooting, you've got people watching directly down the sides. It's a pretty different perspective than you'd normally get at another tournament.
Absolutely. There's a great shot of the room there. And up on the wall, way up in front, you can see the broadcast so the visitors here can see exactly what you guys are watching at home. Right in the same hole that he's hit before. And also the archers in front of them have a monitor so they can see where their arrows have landed throughout the match.
Starting to relax a bit. We noticed that Daniel's shooting a straight pin and a short stabilizer. What's that typical of?
A typical bow hunter setup. You know, open division, normally they're shooting all the bells and whistles and some magnification, and you know, the pin, it's pretty nice because if you get nervous and you don't have that magnification, it doesn't look like you're moving as much. So your brain can kind of relax with that out there sometimes too. So probably not a bad plan.
Yeah, that nice black pin gives great contrast to the target
for
too.
sure. especially on that yellow face.
Do you find you prefer that? Obviously, you're here shooting it.
Well, I've been shooting it for probably 25 years, so I just shoot it for unlimited and everything. And yeah, it works for me.
It's doing a great job for you. When did you start shooting?
When I was 27, so I'm 52.
Very nice, very nice. Well, you look like you're shooting very strong, got nerves of steel. And let's see what the
So we're
scores
gonna
look
see
like.
that beautiful shot there from Daniel Deterline.
Daniel Deterline is a 2
Ooh, it's just out.
Yeah, you could see it in his face there.
And another one low left 10. And another one left 9.
They look like they're breaking clean.
They really do. I mean, the shots look beautiful, but then you get them down in the target, they're not quite there. And that couldn't, again, pressure plays a huge role in all of this. I mean, we talk about pressure, but the reality is when you're standing on a raised platform, you're across from your target, also on a raised platform, and P.S., that screen, you can almost see you can see yourself shoot. You can see yourself execute your own shots. You cannot get distracted in this match. You have to keep your eye on your target, and you have to keep your brain focused on your process. So now you can see the point of the arrow there, and folks at home are thinking, wow, geez, that thing looks awfully sharp. So we know that archery is one of the safest sports out there with an extremely low injury rate, and certainly while those points have a little bit of sharpness to them to get through the foam of that bail, they are not anything that's unsafe to use. They're perfectly safe. They are just a little pointy when you're looking at them. So if you're new to archery, I'd encourage you to take a look at all the equipment and understand that for a beginner, a lot of this equipment can be simpler. It can be less expensive to get started. This is a sport where there's an easy entry point if you want to get started and work your way up to shoot like these guys and girls do today.
And I think it's a great example looking at the difference between these two guys and their setups. You've got one that's basically a full freestyle setup. That's what you're looking at there with a long stabilizer, the handheld release. He's got a loop on his bow.
And then you hammered that one. That was a nice shot. How you feeling up there?
Nervous.
You're doing great. Looks like you closed the gap there. You had a good strong end. Nice shooting. We've got to see what the official scores say here. It's going to come down to maybe that last shot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Let's see what they say. You got some arrows that are close to the line there. You've been up on this stage before, Darren. How are they feeling?
And we're coming into this final end here for these
Yes,
guys.
very
Masters
excited.
Open as we reset the day. After this event, after the Masters Open, we've got a couple more guys we got to see here. Bryan Caton and Wayne Johnson will be coming up.
We're seeing here just a replay here from Mark, and take a look at that shot. He's been
Boom.
so solid with these beautiful 11s. We've got some great competition, Chuck, as you mentioned, coming up. You mentioned that we've got Bow Hunter and Beer Bow coming up. Youth Female Open, Youth Female Recurve, and Youth Male Recurve. And we got some real superstars coming up later today, including Connor Koffold at the end of the day.
I'm excited to see that. We're going to kind of reset this here. They're going to lay up some new paper for these guys going into the last end. And we're going to step aside for just 1 second. While they do that, we're live at the Lancaster Archery Classic.
Hails from Northern Michigan. From the UP?
Northern Lower.
Okay, Northern Lower Michigan. Congratulations. Let's have a hand for Mark. Bryan Caton will be coming up, and he'll take the left stage.
And Mark was eliminated in that match.
Some really strong shooting there. You came through when
Daniel
you needed
Deterline
to. How you feeling?
We'll move on. This is Bryan Caton. He's our number 2 qualifier in the Masters Open division. Looks like he's going to shoot first. He has the
Looks
option.
like Bryan chooses to shoot first on the left stage. Bryan Caton.
You can see Larry having a nice little conversation there, making sure that he's all ready before he gives the go-ahead so that he's not rushing or pushing the archers.
You mentioned Chuck, you mentioned Larry, and of course Larry is our head judge here for these matches, and we want to really draw attention to the fact that if you're new to archery and you're watching this broadcast, which we certainly hope you are, the reality is the judges are here to ensure that the tournament is played fairly by the rules and that the archers understand what they're supposed to do and that the tournament is conducted properly.
You know, Larry's got a great view and a great attitude on this. You know, his whole thing is to make sure that the archer gets every point that they've earned, and
Absolutely.
he will make sure that he does his best, that they have a great experience.
And I think that was actually something that we learned last year, Chuck. As I recall, we did an interview with one of the judges where they emphasized that it's about the points that the archer earns, that they are advocating for every possible point that the archer can get.
Yeah, they never want to take away points. They always want to try to make sure the archer gets the point that they've earned.
So we're taking a
I
look
love
here
the start
to see.
of this match here, though. These guys are
Yeah,
off to
these
a
guys are
great
really
start.
on fire.
Dan's got a 10, just a little
Looks
bit
like
to the
10,
right.
10, 10 to
Good
start
solid
with.
shooting.
And I would take a
we'll
30,
it.
Chuck.
At this
Catch up
point,
with Bryan here.
absolutely.
And Bryan will open up, just describe your equipment a little bit. Looks like you're shooting a brand new Matthews with CBE sight and a Vapor Trail drop away rest. And what rod are you shooting?
Bernie's.
Bernie's, very good. Looks like a Bernie's rod. And what release are you shooting?
Stan.
There we go.
SX2.
Stan SX2 thumb button release and Easton 2712s. Very good. Where do you hail from, Bryan?
North Central Pennsylvania, Emporium, PA.
Emporium, PA. I've seen you around the Pennsylvania State shoots for years and years, at least 20. How long have you been shooting, Bryan?
Probably about it. Real close to 20 years. Very good.
Bryan's been one of the top competitors at the Pennsylvania State tournaments for many years, and it's great to see you here on the LAS Classic stage. Congratulations on getting here.
Thanks.
So we're
Okay,
back,
looks
and
like
I
we got a
am
tie
now
match.
joined
Really
in the
good,
booth by
solid
PJ
shooting.
Riley. PJ, welcome.
Hey, Teresa, how you doing? I'm out of breath. Sorry, I've been running, trying to round up our bow hunters for the next match.
So we're going to show Bryan's last round right now. We're taking a look at that on the screen, and you can see there's a lot of pressure on these guys, but he delivered. He was pretty consistent in the 10 ring. He hit an 11 there, and now we're going to see what Daniel does in this next round. Poor PJ next to me, he's a little out of breath. He's literally been chasing to round up our next archers. It's a bit like herding cats if you've ever tried to round up archers. I have before. It's a lot of work.
It is, yes, we got it done, but I'm enjoying this match from this chair, Teresa, because if I had qualified and gotten to the finals, I'd have been up there, and no way would I want to deal with that.
Well, I got to tell you, these guys are doing a beautiful job of dealing with it. So we're taking a look here at Bryan Caton, and he's doing just a real nice job. You may have caught the just out. Okay, so he just missed it. And now we've got Daniel Deterline, and we're going to see what he's doing here. And ooh, out to the right, low right 9. That could hurt him a little bit.
Now, he's shooting bottom to top. Have you talked about that? Just
We
the
talked about it
preference.
just a little bit, and I'd be curious why, we talked a little bit about top to bottom. Why would you choose to shoot bottom to top?
I have no idea. I always shoot bottom to, or top to bottom. I
So
don't know what that is.
Well, so what we were saying earlier is that, in theory, now the lighting in here is absolutely fantastic, and it really does minimize shadows. But in other tournament venues, and we're going to actually go out to Rob right now.
Okay.
Good shooting there.
Not yet. Not yet.
Well, 2 out of 3 are X's. That's not bad shooting.
I just want to see if you can get me on Cobra Pro staff. I don't think anybody shoots these, but
That release looks like it's been well loved. You must have a lot of confidence in that.
it kills deer. It goes hunting. It kills deer. It's been everywhere.
Very good. Looks like it's doing the job for you. You work it very well. Executing well.
We'll see if we can get you an application for that after a while. Yeah, we'll find one.
Think Scott CBE might be able to do something?
We might be able to get him something.
Cobra obviously builds a very good release as well.
Yeah.
Brian, how you feeling up there?
So we're back here, and we were talking just a little bit, PJ, about the order in which you shoot the targets. Now, in some tournament venues, there are lots of shadows on the targets, but that has not been the case here. And so we're going to just see a quick replay there on Daniel Deterline's shots. And he does shoot bottom to top. So it may just be that he's used to trying to eliminate those shadows. And while they're not a factor here, that may be how he's most comfortable shooting.
Yeah, yeah. Is it Bryan shooting the index finger?
So he is. He's shooting, I believe that was...
That thing is ancient. I have one of those. I think I got it in like 1990.
Let's just take a look and see if we can get a clear view. Oh, that's Daniel right there.
Daniel, he's the one shooting it.
So that is, you know, you are absolutely correct. So that's an old school release, but that is proof that this, you know, today's archery equipment is beautifully manufactured. And the reality is, while you always want to try something new and you may improve your game with it, sometimes, you know, what works really well for you holds its value enough that you can continue to shoot it.
Rob was the one who actually made me get a new one. He saw me shooting it at the shop and said, "You can't shoot that thing. You got to get something new."
Well, and he's absolutely right about that. I mean, sometimes it's just time for a change. That looks like a really nice shot.
Yes, solid
Beautiful 11. Very nice. Now we've got Bryan. Let's see. Now the reality is Bryan really needs to kind of step it up just a little bit here.
You can see his shot pattern. He's just touching, going around the 10 line, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Dan's got a 9 at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, wide.
So he's a little bit out to the right, and at this point, if I'm him, I'm considering if it's something in my shot or if it's my sight. There's a lot of different things that can cause
Good shot. Good
beautiful
shot there.
11.
Bryan finishes the end strong with an 11.
Perfect.
Nice shooting. Boy, it looks like this is a close match. It's back and forth. You guys are both doing a great job. What do you think, Darren? We got a battle here.
It is, and I watch these guys and I watch them execute, and I overheard a conversation today as soon as Chance finished his last match. And Kelsey came up, and I think her quote was, "Baby, you killed it today." And he's like, "I was nervous." And she's like, "Well, you didn't look like you were nervous." And that everybody gets nervous, and Chance's reply was, "I handled it really well today." He says, "Some days I don't, but today I handled it really well." So everybody gets nervous. I applaud everybody up here for doing what they're doing, and if you handle it well, you can succeed up here.
Yeah, it is a battle between, you know, the nerves, the fight or flight. People described it today out there during the elimination matches as an extreme sport without helmets. Mm-hmm. You know, the adrenaline's flowing and you get that adrenaline rush, but you know, if for some reason you fail, you don't end up in the ER.
Yeah, and you can't prepare for it. You can try all you want at home, but you can't emulate this same feeling. You just can't.
You can't practice this. It's quite an accomplishment just getting here.
So we've got a 1-point match here, PJ, and it's pretty exciting to see. These guys have got a lot going on here.
Awesome. I love seeing this coming down. One arrow going into the last end. That's what you want to see.
Absolutely. Anything can happen. And of course, you know, some of the things that are so unique to this tournament, one of them, of course, is the 11, which looks like Daniel just maybe missed.
Yeah. He's got that hole work in there, and he seems to be pounding them in there.
Let's see what Bryan gets, and he shoots the 11. Beautiful shot. Both of these archers are now going to be shooting their middle targets. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here with Daniel. Ooh, looks like he's...
Yeah, he's close.
Beautiful.
That's in there.
So this is just such a tight match now. At this point, looks like it can really go either way. We're down to the last arrow.
I think that's what it is.
Daniel finishes strong. He could have.
That should be an 11.
pressure's on at this point.
There it is. Oh, he slipped. Oh, I think he got it.
Ooh.
That's so
We got
close.
10 just low.
Oh, he just
It's going
missed.
to come down to the arrow calls to see what this match is, making the judges earn their money. Daniel, you're look like you're relaxing a little bit. This last end, you really shot 3 good, strong shots.
No. I don't think you ever settle down. You're always nervous. So this is my first time up on here. I've been second here before. I've been coming here since the second year you've had it. But it's still nerving.
Well, congratulations. You're certainly doing well, and I appreciate you coming year after year. You know, it means a lot to us. This event is our way at Lancaster Archery of saying thank you to all of our friends and our customers and really our archery family.
I wouldn't miss it for the world, and I brought a lot of people started coming with me, so it just keeps building.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's see what the scores have come out to. It looks like
So we're just gonna,
the judge was.
so we're just seeing that third shot right
and,
there.
Those arrows must have been called in. They were all
And
very
it was a
close.
nice shot, but
Looks
just
like
not
we got
quite enough.
124 to 122, with Daniel
that.
taking the match, and looks like third place for Bryan. Bryan, you were third. You came in 11th and made a heck of a climb. For third place, you take home $450. Good shooting. You get to try it again next year. You got anything to say?
Yeah, thanks for putting us on. It's great everything you do for the archery. Just absolutely fantastic.
We appreciate you coming out and being a part of it. You put on a heck of a show here. Nice shooting.
We are back. I'm Teresa
Yes.
Johnson, and I'm here with PJ Riley. PJ, thank you so much for stepping in and joining me for a few minutes.
Absolutely, my pleasure. This is exciting. I'm loving every minute of it, every arrow.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
So we've been looking at the leaderboard right here, and we've obviously seen that Daniel Deterline has been holding his own, but Wayne Johnson is up next, and we're going to see how that goes now that Daniel has retired Bryan Caton. He's retired Mark Wojtkowiak, and now he faces Wayne Johnson.
It was funny, I saw Wayne in the back asking D. Wild if there was a lighting difference between the practice range and this
Interesting.
one. So he was getting his intel ahead of time.
Which is not a bad thing to do, because D. Wild is the guy you want to get your intel from. He, you know, not only did he take the title earlier, but just all-around champion for so many years. He really knows his stuff.
Got an
So
11.
Wayne opens up really strong, and now we've got Daniel stepping up to the line. Will he be able to maintain his winning streak? This is going to be the match.
Incidentally, Dee's report, oh, that's a dead center 11.
Beautiful.
Incidentally, Dee's report was there is no difference in the lighting between over there and here. So
Interesting.
that was his insight.
So let's see what Wayne's going to do. He looks a little bit nervous there.
Just a little.
Shooting with two eyes open, which is a fairly frequent occurrence, but he drops one there.
Nice shot.
And so now we see Daniel. Now, the advantage to this format is, of course, we've mentioned this before, but Daniel's been out here for a while. He's good and warmed up now.
That's an 11, should be.
So now we're seeing what Wayne can do. He looks a little bit shaky as he draws that bow back. And he's looking really strong here at full draw. A little bit of bobble there, but he did nice. And a nice 11 to finish it out. So at this point, Daniel really needs a 10 or an 11 to not have a deficit at the end of this first end, and he does it, drills it, center 11. Really nice job.
Let's give both of these guys a hand. Incredible shooting, guys. Great start. Great start. Take a deep breath. You know, I found that shooting a bow, of course, we're only touching the bow with our two hands. So if you take and shake your hands, keep your hands loose, you tend to stay loose. What do you use to relax? Okay.
There isn't really too much I use. Get up here and shoot. Try to hold it in the 10 ring. That's it.
Oh, you're doing a great job. Great strong end. Nice shooting, gentlemen. As the new archer up here, I'll take and describe your equipment, give you a few minutes. Looks like you're shooting a new Hoyt bow, a Sherlock sight, a specialty scope. You're shooting a spot hog rest, bee stinger stabilizers. You got a good bit of weight on there to help slow the movement. That looks awesome. And Carbon Express arrows. Which arrow are you shooting?
The X-Busters.
Very nice, great arrow. And what relief?
True ball, absolute.
Very good, very good. Shooting it well, nice job. Great start. Congratulations.
So we're going to go out to Wayne's
Hey, we've got
last
a
couple of
heck of a match
arrows
here.
and see how his nerves are affecting the shot a little bit. Well, not very much on that last one, although he really shows us that looks like he was holding his breath just a little bit there.
Yeah, he needed to get that one out. If you look at him now, he just looks a little more comfortable.
He does. I think sometimes you really, it's funny, Rio Wild gave an interview yesterday and said the same thing, that his first couple arrows make him the most nervous, and if he can get those first couple out successfully, he knows it's going to be an okay match.
Easier said than done, though.
Absolutely. Well, and when you're Rio Wild,
Yeah.
So speaking of the Wild Bunch, obviously we saw Dee have an amazing winning streak earlier today. Now Daniel
Same hole.
Deterline doing the same thing here. He's moving
hole.
right through this division, and let's just say he's doing it with a very interesting equipment setup. By the way, Wayne, very nice shot with an 11 there. These gentlemen are pretty evenly matched. Daniel's got the match right now by just 1 point, but it's very early in the match, and anything can definitely happen.
I didn't even notice till you said that he's shooting a short stabilizer.
He's not only shooting a short stabilizer, hopefully we can get a shot at his sight. It looks like he's shooting just a pin, and we'll take a look and see what he's got going there in a minute.
Almost a pinwheel.
And a beautiful an 11 there.
Excellent shot.
So you can see his sight, and hopefully we'll get another shot at it. But
So he's basically got a bow hunter setup.
he's got a really, a very classic, I will not use the term old school, PJ, but he's got a very classic setup. He's got a Scott release, as we mentioned. He's got that short stabilizer, and hopefully we can get back out to his sight in a minute. There's a beautiful 11 there.
Nice.
Wayne, that was an incredible end. Nice job. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Where do you come from?
I knew you were going to ask this. North, South Carolina.
North, South Carolina. Okay. So the northern side of South Carolina.
Now I'm 60 miles east of due west and 12 miles north of Norway.
I got nothing for that. Very nice. Well done.
A little town in South Carolina called North.
Wow.
North.
From North South Carolina. Hails from North South Carolina. Let's give him a hand. He's putting on a heck of a show.
We're going to see this last shot from Wayne.
He
And
center
look at
punched
that.
that one. I mean,
Gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shot you want to be making under pressure in a match like this. And, as we're sitting here in the venue, of course, it's filling up, continues to fill up very quickly. And there's
There
that
we go.
sight we were talking about earlier, PJ. Check out that setup. And I don't know that we'll get around to the other side of the sight.
Oh,
Oh,
here
there
we go.
it is.
Yep, there it is. Yeah,
So he's
pin.
just shooting a pin. There's no magnified scope lens there. There's the sight can move,
Crazy.
and that is why he's not in the bow hunter division. I would imagine that he's moving that sight. But that is, correct me if I'm wrong, that should be just about the only thing that separates him.
Yeah, well, he could shoot this sight in
If he
bow
wouldn't
hunter. The
move
division
it.
would be yes. He could not move
Yes.
it once he started shooting,
And-
but he can move it now in open class.
And speaking of the bow hunter division, so we're going to see those folks coming up next, followed by the barebow archers and the youth female open before we bring on some of the recurve archers. And I'll tell you what, as the day goes on, this venue is getting more and more packed.
Yeah, how about that?
We
There's
really
a lot of
have a
people
pretty
here.
nice sized crowd, and even
It's
compared
great.
to last year, this venue is very full today.
Center punch there.
What a shot. That is a beautiful pinwheeled 11. I would not complain about that one
No.
bit.
He's pounding that bottom target. He's got it dialed in.
Meanwhile,
Wayne comes
so
right back.
solid. It's funny. Wayne looked super nervous in his first end,
Yeah.
and now look at him. Just absolutely terrific. And there's Daniel with another
That's
beautiful
right there.
shot.
Might be just low. Might be just a 10. I think he's just, yep, 10.
So Wayne really has an opportunity to keep gaining some ground. He's very solid. He looks settled in. He doesn't look nervous at all anymore. Boom. Look at that.
I'd like to get a look. Look at his fletching.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he's running for fletching. That's a great point.
Wayne's fletching is very unique.
So there's Daniel with a beautiful 11 to close it out.
Look at that.
Look at that fletching. That is very unique. Good eye, PJ.
I thought it was one of the new gateway feathers, but that's 2 fletchings he's got on there.
2 sets of fletching.
2 sets.
So he's really running a 6 fletch. That is the coolest thing ever. And we're going to get some clarity on what exactly it is that he's running.
Those are by Delta 3D Hunters.
Oh.
Little company out of Buffalo makes them.
I know this is a nerve-wracking place, but you're handling it really, really well right now. What'd you do to prepare to come out here and get on this stage?
Drank a lot.
Perfect. Perfect.
No, not really.
Prescription medication and alcohol, that did it, huh?
Nicotine. No, I just running the mental process and mental game, trying to stay in the moment. The same size target I'm shooting at home, same distance. It's just got to be right here.
Fantastic advice. You're shooting well.
So we're going to get over to some replay action in just a minute here. And here's a beautiful shot from Wayne. Oh,
Look at him.
He is just letting off the tension there, but that's a gorgeous 11.
Perfect hit there.
That was a nice 33 from Wayne. And here's Daniel on the other side. And look at him go. He's just rock solid.
That's
perfect
incredible.
Center shot.
With a bow hunter setup.
Really no complaints there.
So we're told Wayne is shooting a fletching called a bi-delta fletching. I'm not familiar with that one, but it is certainly unique.
It is really unique, and let's just say it, PJ. Clearly, it's working for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, heck, I would shoot like 10 feathers on my arrow if it'd go in the middle every time.
This gives me an idea.
And they are available here at Lancaster Archery Supply.
Oh, how about that?
That should not surprise anyone, by the way.
I'm going to go down in the warehouse on Monday.
So we've got a left 10 there.
Good solid shot.
This gives Wayne another opening. At this point, if I'm Wayne, I really don't want to leave anything to chance because Daniel has proven himself to be a very solid archer throughout the day today. Whew. Look at that. This is a tough lead to beat. If I'm Daniel at this point, I can't shoot anything but 11s right now, and that's a lot of pressure to shoot under. And it looks like maybe he caught that one. Nope, it's just out. Which really at this point almost gives this match to Wayne.
Look at his thumb twitching there.
I'm twitching too, PJ. If I want to win this match so badly, but look at
that
him.
Center punch.
Oh my goodness gracious. Beautiful shot.
Darren Christenberry always said, if I don't miss, you can't beat me. So if you shoot 11s, there's nothing anybody else can do.
That's right. And it's a left 10, and I think that you never, anything can happen, but you're almost ready to say that that's probably the match right there.
Yeah.
He really only needs 7 points to win this match.
All right.
Oh.
Looks like we've got
I mean, that's at least, at worst, an 8.
Perfect. That's all he
wow.
needed.
Great match, guys. Incredible shooting. Great show of sportsmanship there. Dan, you gave it a heck of a run. You sent some guys riding the bench. How are you feeling up there?
I feel good now. I could probably go a couple more rounds, but yeah, it was the experience. I was scared to get up here, but it was worth it.
Well, very good. Nice job. Okay. Dan says, I still want to have a look at a contract. Okay, it looks like Dan came in.
So we've got the leaderboard up for you here, and you can see that Daniel Deterline started his morning against Mark Wojtkowiak, 121 to a 120 win. Went up against Bryan Caton, again against him, took a 2-point lead and won that match, and now here comes Wayne Johnson, and he stops Daniel Deterline.
Could not beat him. I mean, shooting like that, his last arrow was low, but I mean, by then it was pretty much given.
Absolutely fantastic shot, shooting from Wayne Johnson. It took him
happy that I was able to do what I did, and at this point, if I can take a second, I'd like to thank Jeffrey Archery for all the help and assistance they've given me to get me to this point. Been a long 3 years for him. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Let's give him a hand, Wayne Johnson.
Thank you for this. Been coming 3 years. It gets better every year. This is going to be tough to beat, though.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Congratulations. You're going to take a check home for $1,250. Let's give Wayne a hand. Well done. I want to take just a moment and reflect on something very important for everyone at home that I think was key to his success. And that was when Darren asked him what you do to prepare for a moment like this, it was that you stay in the process, and that the whole time here you realize that's the same target you shoot at home every day. You shot thousands of arrows at that target, the same distance. Just because you're on a raised stage in front of cameras and thousands of people and 750,000 people at home.
There's cameras here?
Yeah, there's cameras here. Nice job, well done. That was perfect training and perfect mental preparation for this moment. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Couldn't ask for more. I appreciate this so much.
Thank you. Let's give him a hand.
So we're going to head out for a quick commercial break in just a moment here. We are just resetting the field. We'll be right back.